Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Let's Be Real. I'm James, your host for today's episode. I have the privilege to be graced by his presence. Mayan, the legend himself. How are we doing, man?
It's always a fuck that up already. Couldn't pronounce an easy word.
Opening sentence, not off to a good start.
Yeah.
You good, though?
Yeah, I'm all good. It's
That's
great.
good. That's good. All right. Before we get started, if you'd like us to cover any specific topics, then hit us up with a DM on Twitter, and we may just feature that on our show. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast today. If you do enjoy our show and you'd like to support us, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and following us on Twitter. Also, for more of our content, be sure to check out moviegames.com. That's where we post the majority of our content, including box office predictions and analysis, physical media coverage, movie reviews, award season projections, and analysis as well. You can also subscribe to our email newsletter to keep up to date with all of our content on a weekly basis. Thanks to anyone who is joining us today. We appreciate you. So, Nan, it's been a week for us. How's the week been?
It was good.
Yeah.
It's good. Saturday was great. Those of you that don't know, me and James got invited to we thought it was a world premiere because we didn't see anything about it until like the day off.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say the second world premiere of Fast X. We walked the red carpet. Jason Momoa was there in person, and that dude is a fucking unit, man. Jesus, like, yeah, people say he's big, but like, just seen it.
It's different, Yeah.
It's different, yeah.
Also, Taika Waititi was there too.
Taika was there. A few New Zealand actors and
Yeah.
sports legends were there as well. Yeah, it was a really cool event.
It was massive. It was a very different event because the thing that got me like a little bit overwhelmed was just the fans on the side of the railing as we walked through, all holding their phones out recording. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on so many like screens.
We're in the background of those.
Yeah.
No one knows who we are.
No one's interviewing us, of course, or like asking for autographs or whatever. But like just having that many like phones and people looking in your direction is kind of like interesting for the first time.
Yeah.
I always thought that I would be like the person observing an event like that rather than being part of it. Yeah. So a special experience. And thanks to Universal Pictures for doing that. All the workers there, they're very stressed.
Yeah.
Did you watch anything interesting?
I actually didn't. All I did was just game all weekend.
Well, you gamed all weekend. What are you playing?
Sports. Still the same. Destiny. Still doing that. It's highly addictive.
Highly addictive.
Yeah, but I do want to play it came out while I was down in Tauranga, and I've always been meaning to re-download, but get it as the DLC for Horizon. Sequel for that, and Jedi Survivor that came out I think last month. I want to play those two eventually, which I'll probably do.
It's been a slow year for gaming, I felt. I haven't heard of any hype surrounding it.
Last year was a year. I mean, the sequel for Legend of Zelda came out. But I've never played Breath of the Wild. But I've heard it's like one of the best games ever made. Yeah. I mean, this one's really good as well. But one day when I get a Nintendo or something, I'll get both and play them. Yeah.
Because when I was sick the last 2 weeks, I finished Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty decent. I would recommend it to people, but it's nothing amazing. And I was going to go for the 100% completion thing, and then I couldn't get Avada Kedavra. I couldn't get the Killing Curse because I didn't do a story prompt correctly. And so I was like, okay, no, I'm never playing this game again. Like, how dare you don't let me do that? I'm not going to start from the beginning again.
So you have to do like a prompt to get that.
Yeah, because you're talking to a character, and then you kind of just answer the question of whether it's good or bad or whatever. And I just did the wrong one, so I got so salty over that. But the one I am looking forward to is for a game is Spider-Man 2, which comes out later this year.
Yeah.
Apparently, early discussions that is really good. So, more heartbreaking is what I heard. So,
should be good.
Should be good. That first one got me really emotional when I was playing it. I was like, wow, this hit me hard. Do you remember the storyline for that?
Oh, I remember bits of it. It's been so long, but I haven't quite.
It's when there's that disease going around, and he can either save Aunt May or replicate the thing to save everybody else.
Oh, yes.
And he's like freaking out like what to do. Yeah.
I remember that now.
Oh, no, yeah, so good. We watched Ted Lasso, episode 9, together after the Fast X event.
Oh, yeah, we did. I completely forgot about that. And I wasn't even drunk too.
Well, I guess that's a testament to the entire season so far. It's a bit forgettable. But yeah, last 3 episodes on the way, so that should be
Yeah, we'll have a review for you guys out 3 weeks time, no doubt.
Yeah, we'll go into it quite a bit because if this is the last season, then there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, we'll probably wrap up season 1 and 2 quite quickly, and then we'll go in depth for season 3.
Yeah,
I imagine
pretty much. If you guys do appreciate our sports gains segment of the show, sorry to disappoint you. We're not going to be covering it ever again. It's just I have too much emotional investment in it, and I don't have any positive emotions to put into that segment today. So we've decided to can it. We're not talking about it ever again.
Yeah, I've been told not to talk about my sports games this week.
So. I mean, you can talk about it. The Warriors won. Regular season game doesn't mean anything. La-di-da. But he needed a win and he got it. The Sixers did not get a win.
Oh dear. Your experience no sports fan should ever experience.
Is this the one I told you about today?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll tell the story. The Sixers lost. I was expecting they were going to lose because it was Game 7 in Boston, and Celtics are a really great team. We choked it in Game 6, and I was like, yeah, about 80% sure we'd lose Game 7. The fact is that I woke up this morning and I was getting ready to play it, but I had work and I'm working from home, so it's like, I had a meeting to attend, and so I was just going to watch it. I did work, and then I had a spot in my day, 2.5 hours. I was going to sit down and watch the game, and so I started it from the beginning of the stream, and it was like the game was still live, but I think it was finishing. So I was quarter 4 when I started it. So I started from the beginning, and I'm watching it, and I'm in the middle of the first quarter, and the Sixers are up. And I'm getting excited. We're up by 7. And then the corner of my LG TV shows me the full-time score with the Celtics blow out the Sixers 88 to 112.
Now James needs to go look for a new TV because he absolutely smashed that LG into pieces.
No, man, because I was standing up because Celtics came out strong, and then the Sixers bounced back. I'm like, okay, yep, they're into it now. They're good. This is going to be a good game. And I went out and bought a beer at 9 a.m. in the morning, bro. I've never felt so shit.
Where did you get that from? Countdown?
Fresh Choice, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I felt horrible buying a beer at that time in the morning.
I wouldn't.
No, I didn't feel good. Just the kind of looks and the feel of it. It's not a good time to buy alcohol. But I bought a beer specifically for the game, and then watched half a quarter to find out the full-time score. And it was not a score in my favor at all, man. But it is my fault, so yeah.
Can I ask a question? What if the same scenario happened, but it was the other way around? Sixers won.
I would have been bummed that I found out because I want to see them win. I've been waiting for them to get to the conference finals for 5 years now.
Yeah.
And they keep reaching this point. So, but I would still watch the game because it'd be interesting. But I couldn't even watch the game because it was a blowout. The Celtics won by 24 points.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Just really, really down buzz. It was my fault though, and I got to go change the settings on the LG. I was setting it up, and then you could have NBA scores show up on your TV, or it lets you know when a game's starting. That's a cool feature. I'm going to add that. Fucking 2 years later down the line, I fucking pay the price. Oh, all right. So I will have nothing to contribute on the sports side of things. Maybe F1 gets a little bit juicy and get a good dub there, but yeah, anything NBA related, consider me crying in the corner about. But we're going to move on to the good part of our lives, movies. Let's get to it. All right, so on today's show, we're going to be covering the Oppenheimer trailer, the box office report for the weekend, the Meg 2 trailer, the casting reports for Superman Legacy. We're going to be previewing the summer movie season, the Poor Things trailer. Apparently, Fast X is a trilogy now, the 3-parter. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. Freaky Friday sequel is apparently in the works. And then we're going to finish off with some casting picks for the upcoming Harry Potter series on Max. I was about to say HBO Max, but just Max.
So weird. It sounds like you're just saying someone's name instead of a company or a product.
Yeah, I know. And why would you get rid of the HBO? HBO is well known for quality TV. And,
if anything, anyone that sees Max, I would probably just think it's a new company, who cares about it? But if you have the words like HBO or WB Max or something,
Yeah, I don't know. Let's just do Max Plus. All right. Yeah. So funny thing happened in our last Let's Be Real podcast. We just wrapped up. I think it was about an hour 20 session, and then about 5 minutes after we had finished, Oppenheimer trailer dropped. Fortunately, we couldn't cover it because we had pre-recorded everything, so it had to just take a lot to edit it out and redo, set up the recording gear and all that. So we're going to cover it now. Oppenheimer trailer came out a week ago. What did you think of it, man?
It looks very Nolan-y.
Nolan-y.
Nolan, like,
elaborate.
Everyone knows what I mean by Nolan-y. Like the way it looks in terms of like the shots, the way the shots are held and the filters that he's used. It's like a very Nolan film. The way the trailer was laid out feels a very Nolan film.
Yeah.
You mentioned it before, the week off or the day off when it released. The black and white scenes could be set in the future after bomb drop, and then the colored scenes is the lead up to it.
Yeah.
And whatnot. It just has this Nolan feel, and the dialogue has that Nolan feel. It's not cheesy humor, but it's not good humor. It's just like Nolan humor that's sprinkled throughout it.
Yeah.
It looks very intense. 100% I'm going to be sweating in that lead up of the bomb dropping. Because the way that trailer made it out to be in regards to the way it cut between certain scenes and like the score as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be intense. And is it Ludwig Göransson?
Something along those lines. I don't know the pronunciation.
Yeah. I think we're going to have another banger for score here as well.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. And I'm quite confident every single scene that we saw in that trailer is going to actually be in the movie.
What do you mean by that?
Like, how you have like those snappy like little sparks and stuff in the flames and
you think they'll all be in it?
They'll be in the movie. It wasn't just for promotional stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm completely in agreement with you. The thing that I love about this is, you hear about the story, Manhattan Project, Oppenheimer and whatnot. It feels like a movie that can easily be put to the screen, but it's not. It doesn't feel like a movie that can be put into IMAX and put into a really cinematic experience.
Yeah.
And it really looks like Nolan's done that here in a way, just through, having that sense of pace and urgency, which it seems to really nail in. Obviously, the visuals, kind of Interstellar inspired, with the sun, but like, yeah, you know what I mean. The score is just so like massive, larger than life kind of themes to it. So it seems like we're going to get, an experience here. It's going to feel really grand on the big screen. In terms of how it's structurally done, that one's going to be the interesting one because he loves to play with time. He loves to,
he does,
do all crazy things. Even when it's like something like Dunkirk, which could easily have just been like a linear storyline, but then he did like 3 different timelines and had them all merged together at the end, which is insane. So how he does it here will be interesting. I do think the black and white time will be used for effect potential, but I did have that theory where it's like feels like it comes after the bomb dropping.
Yeah. Can I just jump in quickly?
Yeah.
Because I just want to piggyback off this point that you're making. I wonder if they're going to take the Dunkirk approach, like it's 3 different timelines leading up to it, and it's like the black and white scenes and the colored scenes, they're all happening.
Yeah.
And as the trial or whatever, they start talking about the bomb dropping. That's when we'll see the bomb dropping. So it's all intertwined, like it goes from black to white. Oh, black and white to color. Like
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it could be that, or it could be the other one, but I feel like Nolan will do something special with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would like the bomb dropping to be like the big final climax of it all. But it really does seem like Nolan's going to dive deep into character here, and this is what I want from him. I love his, really grand science fiction kind of concepts in film, Inception, Interstellar, Tenet, whatnot.
Yeah.
But I just really want a chance for him to like go deep into character and really get emotional in a more grounded way. I mean, Interstellar did that quite well. But I can't think of a recent movie of his where it's like truly character focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on Cillian Murphy so far, just based off what you've seen?
He looks incredible.
Yeah.
He looks like he could be in line for a best actor nod. He just feels so perfect. Have you seen an image of Oppenheimer?
I have, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, they look very similar.
Yeah.
And Cillian Murphy he doesn't feel like Cillian Murphy. He feels like
Oppenheimer,
yeah.
Also surprising that I said this to you after we watched the trailer, is that I didn't realize how big of a role Matt Damon's character had in this. It seems like as if he's going to be supporting.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he does feel like he's going to have a big presence in the movie. It'd be interesting to see how, because the cast is stacked, so it's going to be very interesting how that all comes together. Robert Downey Jr., he seems to have in the black and white kind of moments.
Yeah.
He looks like he'll have a big part in that, but yeah, man, mid-July, can't get here soon enough.
Not that long, 2 months.
Not that long. I mean, we're going to be covering it shortly, but that week with Mission Impossible and then the week after that, Barbie and Oppenheimer, 2 weeks of just pure movie goodness.
Set in your diaries that Monday off, or that Monday after Mission Impossible and before, and that Monday before and after Oppenheimer and Barbie. Set your dates for Let's Be Real, because it's going to be some juicy bangers on that.
It is going to be hype. All right, we're going to move on to the box office report for the weekend.
I actually haven't seen these numbers, so I'm quite excited.
Oh, you're quite excited, eh? Okay, so at number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 got 60.5 million. The Super Mario Bros. Movie got 13 million. In third, Book Club The Next Chapter got 6.5 million. Fourth, Evil Dead Rise, 3.7 million. And fifth, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, got 2.5 million. So, yeah, what do you think about these results?
Was that less than 50% drop?
Yeah, it was. I think it was.
Because from my memory, it was 114, 115 area opening weekend for Guardians.
I believe it's a 48.9% drop.
That's actually very good.
That
is very fucking good for Guardians. Like, that absolutely shat on Ant-Man.
Yeah.
I can't remember the drop for Black Panther, but I assume it was around about 50s. And
I think it was between 60 and 65. I know Multiverse of Madness was over 65, and I think Thor was around 64, 65.
Yeah, and all of those were literally the previous Marvel films, and for this to drop by 40-something%.
Yeah.
That's fucking fantastic. That shows that James Gunn is a key in box office draw in non-COVID times. And that there is faith in Marvel products for the future if they're good quality and have a good story, and not like shit sort of jokes and story and whatnot. I don't want to go off too much on this, but no, that's good. I can't remember if we had a discussion on whether it was on the podcast or just in private about how this week's going to be massive for Guardians, because we'll get a good idea on how it's going to track.
Yeah.
Based off this drop, and because it dropped so pretty low, I think we could see we could see the legs for it to get to around about the 800 to 900 mark.
Yeah.
Maybe billion at a stretch.
Yeah. At a stretch, we'll have to see, because competition comes from next week. Fast X, Little Mermaid, Spider-Man. Every week there's a big release coming out from next week onwards.
Yeah.
But we did cover last podcast that whether, the second week, what it was going to be would be a good indication on kind of the status of it. Because I think we both agreed last week that the opening is pretty disappointing when you consider it open pretty significantly below the second one. But, I did say that it could be collateral damage, and now there's been a chance for the word of mouth to come through.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, this is good Marvel. This is good MCU. This is what we want. People come back to it.
Marvel pre-Endgame.
Yeah. Because, you got to think about it from two different perspectives. Obviously, the fans who like Marvel, who want to watch Marvel content, if they go and see Thor: Love and Thunder, chances are they're not going to come back. Ant-Man, Quantumania, they're not going to come back to that, because they obviously probably didn't have a good time with it. And then casual movie-going audiences are hearing everything from the fans and, all the other reviews and whatnot, and be like, oh, well, I'm going to spend my money elsewhere, especially in a time of, cost of living and all that kind of stuff. So when you have the fans enjoying it and they're telling everybody else, that word of mouth spreads, and then the casual movie-going audience jumps on board as well, and they start watching it.
Yeah.
So this is a testament, and it should send a message to Disney and Marvel to be like, hey, if you make good quality stuff, people are going to come watch. You're going to have good box office. It's unfortunate that, MCU has taken a major reputation kind of hit recently, because that way Guardians probably would have opened above what Volume 2 did.
Yeah.
And then it could have gone through to $1 billion, I feel. But I think under these figures and good daily holds alongside this excellent, very impressive second weekend hold, I think for now, it looks like it's definitely going to pass the first one. I was worried if it had like a drop off these other movies, that it would be that it might not even reach the first one, which is a major sign of concern. But it could stretch to past the second one, which I think is around like the 875 mark. So it'll be an uphill battle with competition, but word of mouth is the biggest driver for box office. I mean, we know this. We keep seeing it time and time again.
Yeah.
No matter the competition, no matter any circumstances, word of mouth is your best friend. So it'll be interesting. And box office is going to get very fun over the next few months because there's always something coming out.
This week it's Fast X, right?
Fast X, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think there's something significant pretty much every week until July.
That's good.
It's gonna be good. All leading up to the Oppenheimer versus Barbie.
Bro, that is a bigger battle than Godzilla v Kong and Batman v Superman.
I feel like it's not a battle though. I feel it's more like a team up.
What? Batman? Oh, Oppenheimer and
Barbie, yeah.
Barbie. Yeah, it is. It's two great directors teaming up to release great films on the same day to cement the cinemas are back.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
And they should do a crossover for it. The real world and Barbie is actually in the Oppenheimer world. How amazing would that be?
That would be a toenail roller coaster.
Yeah. But in August, a movie comes out that the first one did pretty decently at the box office. The Meg, remember that movie? Kind of surprised everyone at the box office. Did pretty well there. So it was pretty popular. We had a massive screening for it in New Zealand, which I think I've told you that story the other night for some reason.
Yeah, every time we meet, you tell me that story.
Every time we meet?
Yeah, if I had $1 for the amount of times you told me this story, I would have like about $20.
I don't know about 20. You might have $5. But yeah, no, the Meg 2, the trailer dropped today. Yeah, thoughts on that one? You're looking forward to it?
Bad time to take a sip. Yeah, I actually am looking forward to it.
Oh.
Just because it's like, I know what I'm going to get from that film. You know, it's not going to be good, and it is going to be bad. Oh, it's not going to be like horrendous. It's going to like fit in the middle. It's just like, it's going to be exactly like the first one. You know, like just some stupid like sort of shark going around killing people and stuff in the entertaining way.
Like Jaws.
Similar to Jaws, but not as good as Jaws, because Jaws is goated. But yeah, this just looks so much fun. Like they have like comedy in there, and the fact that it's is it shot here again, like the first one?
What?
Is it shot here?
No, it's not shot in New Zealand. I think it's shot in China somewhere.
China,
yeah.
Nevertheless, it still looks very fun and entertaining. You know, I think some of the cast members from the first film are coming back. Jason Statham, obviously, is coming back. I think the premise of this is that this is the biggest Meg recorded in history.
Oh, that's
yeah. So if we thought the destruction that the Meg and Meg 1 was, imagine the destruction that this Meg and Meg 2 could be. And the fact that there's apparently 2-3 other sharks that's teaming up with them. So we got a triple threat, man. We got a triple threat of big fucking sharks just terrorizing this human world. It's, you know, it sells itself. It's stupid, but it's going to be entertaining. Like Sharknado. This is that, but probably a bit better.
Probably a bit better, and with like, you know, $150 million more put into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I mostly agree with you. I feel like it is going to lean towards more of the point where I don't like the movie. If the movie can sell itself in a way that's fun but doesn't take itself too seriously, because if it takes itself seriously with, you know, what we saw in this trailer, then, you know, that's a movie I don't like, that I'm not going to like. But if it can sell the ridiculousness of it, then I can, you know, just kind of relax and sit back and have fun with it. It's kind of in that same, you know, category as a Fast and Furious or Transformers.
Yeah.
Where it's just, you know, your popcorn blockbuster flick. Just, yeah, you go on and you just see a bunch of stuff happen, and that's really it. And it doesn't need to be anything more than that. I'm not going in expecting, you know, really intricate, you know, narrative with, you know, deep themes and good character work and whatnot. That's not what I'm going for. But from my experience, I did not like the first one. So we'll see on how this one is. I would hope that they just lean more into the silliness of it and just really kind of have fun with the whole idea of it. But, you know, the whole Megception side of it, I don't know what's going on. Just a bunch of sharks and I don't know the significance of it. Why was there a T-Rex there?
I think the point of that is
I'm so confused.
The point of that is to show that, like, you know how 65 million years ago we were always told like dinosaurs ruled the earth.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. T-Rex is like the biggest, baddest dinosaur of them all. I think the point of this and that trailer was that there was actually this massive ass shark that was the king, you know? And the fact that the image of it like destroying a T-Rex in one bite is like, holy shit, because this is like...
So it's trying to do that.
Yeah. That's what I got from that scene.
Right, yeah. I mean, I hope so. I don't want dinosaurs to be really a part of this movie.
I'm still recovering from Jurassic World Dominion, to be honest. I don't want to see dinosaurs for a solid 2 years.
I'm still recovering from Fallen Kingdom. Fucking that whole trilogy is not good. Like,
the first one was
First
good.
one's fun. I do like the first one. Yeah, see, that's a good example. Like, the first one is fun, and it's not too serious in what it's trying to do. But I felt like Fallen Kingdom was really trying to be serious and build up something massive.
And then try to add this horror element to it as well.
Yeah, just have fun with it, and the audience will have fun. I think that some movies, that's all they really need to be.
Yeah.
That was a bad time to take a sip. But yeah, no. So we'll move on now to something. We'll go back to comic books because that's the only kind of films that have been made these days. Superman Legacy, James Gunn. He is writing, he is directing, and it's opening the chapter 1 for DCU.
It is, yeah.
Gods and Monsters.
2025.
Yes. Yeah. I believe it starts filming just before the end of the year. But yeah, there's been a bunch of casting rumors that have started like swirling around over the past few days. So, you know, I thought it'd be interesting to cover this one. Lois Lane, 4 actresses have been auditioned, I believe. And so those are Emma McKee, Phoebe Duvernay, Samara Weaving, and Rachel Brosnahan. I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing that one wrong. I know, but I don't know the correct pronunciation. What are your thoughts on any of these actresses playing Lois Lane? And what do you want from whoever will be cast as Lois Lane?
I really like all these castings. Samara Weaving is probably the outlier for me in this one. Like, I do love her work and whatnot, but she doesn't really scream, you know, Lois Lane to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have my phone in front of me. It's either my top two options are either Emma McKay or the second one that you said.
Phoebe Duvernay.
Yeah. They'll be the top two. I think Emma McKay would be my first. I think she'll be, because she's an upcoming actress. She's in Sex Education and the upcoming Barbie film. I think this will be like a role to like really cement herself as you know, like a it sort of actor.
Yeah.
Similar to like what Margot Robbie did for herself, which is funny because they both look similar. In regards to what I want from Lois Lane, I just want Lois from the comics. You know, this this goat. This does.
Did you say goat?
No, I stopped mid word because I was going on another thing. Like, even like I want the Lois from the comic books and the TV series Superman and Lois, because I feel that show does Superman and Lois Lane like fantastic, and it's in my opinion, it's a very underrated show. But in the comics and that show, it shows Lois as like, you know, a go-getter. Like, she's a reporter; she'll do anything for the story or to get the story out there to the people. Yeah, and that's what's made her win so many Pulitzer prizes. That's sort of something that I want. And that's not quite, you know, so dependent on Superman and like that whole romantic side of stuff. Something that where she can hold her own and like we can see her successes outside of dating Superman and instead of just being this damsel in distress type of character. And like throughout the show and the comics, like she constantly like challenges Superman like intellectually and Clark Kent. And I'm sort of hoping that this is something that James Gunn can bring into this world, is like they can still have that romance side to it, but like still show like Lois is like a actual badass, you know?
No, I'm pretty much in agreement with you there. Especially the Samara Weaving point. I heard this and I'm like, it's not a role that really fits her. I like her as more the Fantastic Four, Invisible Woman side of things better. But yeah, this one doesn't feel like Samara Weaving. Emma McKay is probably the one where I'm like, yeah, that one's probably the better option here. I don't know much about Lois Lane besides from what I've seen in what a Man of Steel or anything in the DCU and the other Superman movie, 2005 or something like that.
Superman Returns.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
2006. Yeah,
that's close enough. Give me credit where it's due. But yeah, no. So I think she'd be quite good. It would be a role that she could really grow into, and mature. And I feel so. I'd like to see that kind of angle. And at the end of that, I trust whoever James Gunn is going to put into this. So I absolutely
agree as well.
Yeah, so it's not like if Samara Weaving gets cast, I'm not going to be like, oh, this is stupid. It shouldn't be here. But like, because I know James Gunn will see something that we haven't seen.
It's going to make this point now that whoever gets casted, we saw with Heath Ledger, there was like an uproar. We saw with Robin Pattinson as Batman, there was an uproar.
Yeah.
James Gunn is like, he knows what he's doing. So if he casts someone you don't agree with it, he's going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
And there's like 2 cases where that's been proven.
Exactly, yeah. Sometimes you got to wait and see for the final product.
Exactly.
But yeah, no. So, from what I'd want from Lois Lane and, I guess this first chapter is really kind of mostly on what you said in terms of, making her own character and pushing a little bit more into the journalist side of things that is her, like most of her character there. But what I would love to see in kind of the DCU and, especially with Superman and Lois Lane is just the romance. I felt like the romance and whatever DCU tried to do was really bad. Like,
the chemistry didn't quite click between Amy Adams and Henry Cavill as well.
Yeah.
Like individually separate them. Like she was a fantastic Lois and he was a fantastic Clark and Superman, but together it was just
he was way too stoic, and I'd love to have seen kind of Henry Cavill as Superman be a little bit more vulnerable with her. I thought that would have been quite a powerful element of their thing. But I do want to see more romance and just really intimate relationships, romantic relationships in a superhero comic world. I feel like it's something that the MCU has really missed the mark on. So I'd love to see it in here because it's quite a powerful emotion to play with. And
I think besides Spider-Man and MJ will be, or probably no, like them two, Spider-Man and MJ and Superman and Lois is like the top 10 in terms of comic book sort of romances. Yeah.
Like Stacy and Spider-Man.
Like those are the 2 big ones.
What is it? Who's Batman with?
Take your pick.
Oh, the Catwoman mostly.
Catwoman, there's Talia.
He's kind of a womanizer kind of character. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have a set one. But like whenever I think of comic book romances, those are the 2 I think of.
Obviously Spider-Man and MJ would be the king out of all of them. But yeah, no, you are right. I just hope that's something that DCU brings along.
Yeah.
What the DCU will bring along though is Superman. And so there are other names beyond the 2 that I'm going to mention here, but I mean, I think 2 of them were just in the early mix. The third one, Jacob Elordi, is that it? He was one of our fan cast picks for Superman, I believe.
Was he?
Yeah, he's the really tall guy from Euphoria, The Kissing Booth. If you've seen those movies,
seen neither of those.
Yeah, but no, he's a really, really tall dude, and his performance in Euphoria has been highly praised. Apparently, he just didn't submit any audition, so I think they're just running forward with other people now in contention. So one of them is Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, initially he was rumored to be in the running for Lex Luthor, but it's actually for Superman. And then the other one is David Corenswet. And I've seen nothing. I don't even know who this was until it was mentioned. And so now it's coming up on the Twitter feed, just seeing a bunch of images. And he looks like a Superman. So what are your thoughts on these 2 frontrunners for Superman here?
I'm in the same boat as, what's his name, David
Corenswet?
Yeah, I'm just going to call him David.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything from him. I only found out about him today when it came off my newsfeed.
Yeah.
And I did exactly what he did. Look at him and was like, this is Superman.
Yeah.
I'll start with Nicholas Hoult first. I don't think he's a Superman. He doesn't have that Superman look, to him.
Interesting. Yeah.
He's not like a big, like when you think of Superman, he's like jacked.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult seems skinny. Like he'll be a perfect Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
100%. But I don't think he could do Superman well or accurate as. I mean, it's James Gunn, so if he does cast him, I'll be behind that and I won't criticize him because I've been proven wrong twice in the past. But to me, he just doesn't feel Superman-y. You know, I mean, him sure, acting wise and storyline wise, he'll be able to nail it.
Yeah.
But he's not my first choice. David, though, just based on looks, because I haven't seen anything of his.
Yeah.
He looks like a Superman. He looks like very young as well, which is what James Gunn is trying to go with.
Yeah.
But Nicholas Hoult is somewhat older. I don't know if he's round about Cavill's age or whatnot.
Yeah, I think he's in the 30s, I think. Yeah.
But David, our boy, he's round about. He seems like as if he's mid-20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
I think this would be a perfect role for him. I mean, it will cement him and his career. I feel like I keep repeating myself every week when we talk about fan casts and stuff, but it's a good way to bring up-and-coming actors and actresses into the spotlight. And I think, sorry, someone's trying to call me. I bet you it's my mum. I'll have a look later. But I was saying, he has the look of Superman, and I think James Gunn will be better off going with a lesser known actor and actresses for all of these roles because he'll just be able to bring them into the spotlight.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I'll pretty much echo what you say, but the point I want to add to the David Corenswet thing is that he would be tied for the tallest Superman or tallest person to portray Superman at 6'4". So
was Cavill 6'4" or was it Christopher Reeve?
Reeves was 6'4". So he's a really tall guy and obviously can grow physically into the role. So he can definitely get a lot bigger. But pretty much you nailed it. What you said about David here, young, can grow into the role, up and coming actor. I think those are really key aspects, especially for a role like Superman. I don't want some familiar face in it. Nicholas Hoult to me is a familiar face. I want someone new, someone that I haven't really seen before. I think it would just create a little bit more excitement and intrigue in terms of what they can bring to the role. I'd kind of have an idea of what Holt would do with it. And so I think, that is a big point. Obviously, I think the age is a big point, especially if DC is starting from scratch and building the universe from the ground up again. You need to go young. You went old with Ben Affleck's Batman, and that was a bad choice. I always thought it was bad from the beginning.
It was bad considering how early that stage was.
It started and it was like second movie.
Yeah, it was
and then it skipped over important storylines, the whole Robin dying. You just missed out so much good content there.
Yeah, I mean, Old Man Batman is fantastic. The Dark Knight Returns is one of the greatest comic books ever. But you kept talking there, and I didn't have a chance to jump in because it just went so smoothly from you. I was going to bring it back to Nicholas Hoult. What would you think of him as Lex Luthor?
Oh, well, that's an interesting one. I'll think while I talk, but I'll cover him as Superman first because I disagree with what you're saying about that. Because I forgot the exact details of what you said, but Hugh Jackman, he's over 6 foot, and Wolverine.
He's my height.
Yeah, Wolverine is tiny. He's a small dude and very angry and stuff. And when you think of Wolverine now, you think of Hugh Jackman. When you think of the look of Wolverine, you think of Hugh Jackman. When they cast a new Wolverine in the MCU, you're gonna want someone big and muscular. You're not gonna want small guy.
But that's because no one else has played Wolverine until before Hugh Jackman. We've had about 4 or 5, probably more Supermans.
That's true. But okay, further to my point though, I think he does look like a Superman. Obviously the blue eyes and dark hair and whatnot. The age thing is the part that really is he's established actor and he's aging, I guess, in a sense. So I obviously want them to go young with this one. But I think Nicholas Hoult he's a perfectly capable actor. I think I read something that he was in line for the Batman with Robert Pattinson.
I saw that. as well.
Yeah, that's what I read. So DC I think they want him somewhere. So I'll go to your point about Lex Luthor. I don't like that one at all. Bryan Cranston's always been my pick for Lex Luthor.
I think Cranston's now gone to the old He's become too old.
Yeah.
If this is like an old man Superman, like, he's been established, has family, kids, Superman and Lois TV series, then I'll gun for Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Because like Lex Luthor is always like, slightly older than Clark Kent and Superman.
Yeah.
So we can't really have them at the same age or younger. He needs to be like
Jesse Eisenberg. I thought it'd be good.
All right, guys, I'm out.
Eisenberg.
I'm definitely out now. See you guys.
So I wouldn't like Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, and I'm glad that didn't come to fruition yet.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for this to work, you want an up and coming actor as Superman, and you want an established, acclaimed actor as Lex Luthor.
I agree, and
that dynamic would be really powerful on screen, because just the way the audience would internalize that kind of scene would be just very interesting. And you'd sense a bit of power from Lex Luthor in the sense of having like a really well-known actor in there. But I don't know who I'd pick.
It's a hard one.
Yeah, but I don't think I'd want someone at Bryan Cranston's age now. I'd want someone around like the 40 to 50 mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not Jesse Eisenberg. I thought he could have done the role justice, but that's a very unpopular opinion. We won't be able to see that. All right. We'll move on from Superman now, because that's not giving me a good look there. He's still boiling up about that one. But don't worry, James Gunn's DCU, I think, it's in good hands for me.
You have to give it time.
Yeah. Oh, do you know what I read today, actually? That for Marvel's, the MCU's Phase 5, that for a lot of the scripts, Kevin Feige would send it to James Gunn, and James Gunn would send back notes.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that. I'm like, that explains a lot. Because Phase 3 was just banger after banger after banger. And with his contribution there, I think that would have played a bit of a role in refining every single movie.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And you obviously can't do that now. Or he can, but it won't be publicized.
Yeah. But I mean, now without, James Gunn kind of helping Kevin Feige in any way other than Guardians 3, I don't know. I mean, DC could, get to the top of the hierarchy when it comes to this kind of stuff. James Gunn could be the magician behind the scenes for the MCU.
I think so. I think I can talk about the new DC structure for like ages, and I might add it into next week's stuff. Considering stuff is starting to ramp up, but I think people are just so stuck. And I don't hate the Snyder movies. Before I say what I'm going, you're allowed.
This is a safe place. You can say you hate the Snyder movies. There's no Snyder fans outside. Do you want it? I can double check.
As soon as I say my comment, we're going to hear bang in the garage and be like, what the fuck you say, cunt?
Restore the Snyderverse.
Yeah. Like, it's very hit or miss with the whole Snyder stuff, like some products are good. Snyder did some great elements with it, but overall it just wasn't that great. Mm-hmm. And I think people just got too stuck into that vision of his to give any other vision a chance. Joss Whedon, poor example, because I'm referencing to Justice League because that was shambles.
Yeah.
But Joss Whedon suffered from that. His own fault because it was a shit film. But James Gunn, he's proven everyone wrong. Like, he has 3 Guardians films and a Suicide Squad film to prove everyone wrong that he can make good films.
Yeah.
And I just see everyone on Twitter and just articles shooting on James Gunn. I'm just like, no, this isn't the best hands possible for DC. That first slate might not make sense, but it's going to set up for the second phase, which is going to make so much more sense.
Yeah, there's always going to be that group that are dedicated to Snyder and will always hate James Gunn for taking over the mantle. But us sane people, you guys are also sane. For anyone who's a Snyder fan, I'm not saying you're insane or anything. For us people that have respect for creators, we have a reason to be excited with James Gunn, and we can understand both sides of the fandom. So, yeah. I'm just looking forward to Swamp Thing for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm looking forward to that.
Bro, this is going to be underrated as fuck, eh? I think he's going to bring in the whole horror vibe to that.
Yeah.
And I think it's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah. It's going to be good. I'm only really looking forward to 3 of them. But I'm just fully on board with whatever James Gunn's doing especially after Volume 3. Just cemented himself as a great filmmaker with that one.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, now we're gonna, discuss, the upcoming movies for the next 3 months. And, I did this in part because it was a slow news week and I was like, I don't know what to put down in terms of what we should be covering for this week.
FYI, guys, James usually has like 10 or 11 subjects that we talk about. Today I open up the thing that's like 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I see a fan cast like, oh yeah, this guy's struggling.
Well, usually there's a lot to talk about. But this week, I mean...
Yeah, it has been very slow.
It has been slow, yeah. So it's just one of those weeks. And, the last few weeks have just been like, there's just been a lot of information, a lot of trailers. So I thought, we got the summer movie season starting now. So I thought we could cover it because I think it's significant. You go back... you go back last year and, the May to August period, it had, good movies, but it was about 1, maybe 2 movies that were anticipated or quite big in that. So it wasn't a full movie season. This is the first full movie season and summer movie season. It's winter for New Zealand. So I'm just getting a bit confused. It's just our audience is mostly from the US. So I'm saying summer. So May to August this year, it's the first time it's been consistent, anticipated movies. Even the small anticipated movies are there. It's the first time everything's come back to normal since COVID-19 pandemic. So yeah, no, some of the movies in that, and obviously Guardians kicked things off a week ago. So what do we have along the way? So we got Fast X, Little Mermaid, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Transformers Rise of the Beasts, The Flash, Elemental, Asteroid City, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Oppenheimer, Barbie, Gran Turismo, Strays, and Blue Beetle. You obviously got the Meg 2 in there. I think that's in August as well. There's obviously going to be some others in there, but what are you thinking for this, these upcoming few months? You pumped?
I am pumped. I mean, 90% of those films that you said I'm really excited for. I think the ones that I'm really dreading now is Transformers, just because Transformers 1 was elite.
That movie's good. I was trying to watch that the other day. I thought I owned it on 4K, and so I walked down. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go find it. I looked for 10 minutes, couldn't find it. I was sad. But I will watch it before this one. I guarantee it.
Me too. Eventually, if you own one part of a franchise, you have to buy the rest. Yeah. Just because, it's complete.
I think that's where I went wrong because I wanted the first one, but I knew that I had to own the rest of them, and I don't want 4 or 5.
Yeah. I'll be in that same boat, but I'm just waiting for, good deals. I'm waiting for JB to come through.
There are good deals always.
Yeah, but yeah, I said it in my, well, not in my, but in our, when we did our most anticipated and whatnot, least anticipated, Transformers was the worst one for me, so I'm not really looking forward to this. It just seems like Transformers 1, but light, set in the 90s with animals. Transformers. That's all it is. So, that aside, I'm going to move on to everything else, which is good, which is everything else that you said. Blue Beetle will be the weaker one, but it's doesn't look shit. It looks very fun.
Yeah.
It looks like a fun movie. Then you got the big boys, Barbie, my most anticipated, Oppenheimer, yours.
Yeah. Would you say that switched around with the marketing that's come out now? The trailers for both? Or is Barbie still your biggest one you're looking forward to here?
I think score-wise, because Barbie hasn't really showcased much of their score in their trailers.
Yeah.
I think score-wise...
I think that would obviously go to Oppenheimer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think score-wise, Oppenheimer's now, bumped it up. But I'm backing Barbie all the way. I have to.
Locking that one in.
Locking that one in. So,
well, there's also The Flash, and for listeners out there, that was on Nan's least anticipated. We've heard so much good stuff about that movie. Are you I know you're anticipating it now.
It's now back to my 2022 most anticipated when it's supposed to come out.
Yeah,
how I had it up there and you guys shat on me. I want to relay that back to you guys.
I don't think we did.
I think one of either your kind did. They were like, "Oh, you put Flash in there." I was like, "Yeah, it's Flashpoint."
I think that was a slow. That was a slow year. You put Black Widow in your thing. I was gonna put Elementals. Wait, it's called
Eternals.
Because I'm thinking of Elemental, the movie coming out.
Yeah.
That's Pixar's next movie. What do you think about that one?
Yeah.
You looking forward to that?
I am. The only thing I've seen about that film is that first bit.
Yeah.
That very first trailer.
Yeah.
I don't really want to see any. Because if I see any, then I know where Pixar's at, because that's quite predictable.
Yeah.
And this is such an interesting concept to me, like, the thing of elements. That's why I'm a big Avatar fan.
Yeah.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
You can be both.
I can, but I'm not.
They're both doing the elements.
They are. They are. The Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm a big fan of that. I'll probably eventually be a big fan of Avatar if they do the fire Na'vi, because that's my favorite element.
He's coming around. Love how you have favorite elements.
Bro, nothing is... Fire's goat. Fire's main.
No, I don't. Water.
Water's easy. Anyway, in terms of elemental, it's a very interesting concept. You can do so much with it. So I'm really hoping this is like... It's very similar to Inside Out.
Yeah.
In terms of Pixar. Like, it's Pixar, not Disney Pixar, because there is a big difference, e.g. Lightyear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to Elemental. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, sorry. It was
another great animated one, yeah.
It's going to be fantastic, so it's looking fucking good.
Yeah. And then we'll go to, the smaller...
Oh, sorry. I forgot Asteroid City. Where's Anderson?
Whoa. Just wait, mate. I'm setting this up perfectly, all right? I planned this in the last minute. If you let me finish.
I'm sorry.
If you let me finish. Well, I was gonna...
We'll delete this.
No. What I was going to say is there's also great smaller movies coming into this space. Asteroid City is one of them. I know this is very high in your anticipation list. You're looking forward to this one, obviously.
From a blowout before, I think anyone else knows. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's Wes Anderson. Without a shadow of doubt, he's like one of the best visual cinematographer type directors out there, his films look beautiful, like in terms of color palettes he uses, the film shots, the camera work,
symmetry.
The symmetry, the way like each frame is like shot is fantastic. And then his stories that he shows he writes for those films is fantastic as well. The score accompanies that, everything he does, all the technical side stuff so well, which is why he's such a fantastic director. Yeah. And it's like, I'm so surprised he's not bigger in terms of the Hollywood spectrum. Like, because I feel we still refer him to like an indie sort of director and whatnot.
Well, he is. I think he sticks to that. He doesn't ever go to like, the big leagues and I think he does that deliberately because they would compromise his style. Yeah. 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 And his style of filmmaking is unique.
100%, yeah.
Just, okay, like, imagine seeing a Wes Anderson movie and it not having that kind of symmetry or, it just looks like a Marvel movie or a standard blockbuster. That would be weird. That would feel weird.
I'll be uncomfortable, to be honest. I'll be like, no, what have you done to my boy? And then... Sorry, and then you have like the cast as well. Like he always has a stacked cast, and the fact that like these big A-listers wants to come work for this indie director, it's fantastic for him. Yeah,
obviously. I mean, I will say this: from what I've heard about Asteroid City, it sounds like it's his best work, up there with Grand Budapest. But I don't know the validity of that. We'll find out our first reactions because Cannes Festival starts. I think in a couple of days.
Oh, days.
Yeah. Oh. It's this month. So, we'll get our first reactions to a lot of it, big stuff. One of them is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I know you're not a big Indiana Jones guy. You'll probably watch stuff before we see the movie, of course. But yeah, where's your anticipation level with that one?
I think I'm on the verge of like, I'm not excited, but I'm not dreading it, I think it's just, I just want to wait and see what happens with it. Because I'm going to reference the past two like legacy type of films. So one was Matrix. I haven't seen it based on your guys' comments about it, about how bad it was.
Don't see it, please.
Yeah, and then the other one is Top Gun Maverick, and I don't need to say any more about that because we had a whole entire podcast dedicated to that. I think if it can hit the heights of like, a very, like it can do everything great, like fan service, a fitting ending for Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones, I think I'll be very happy with that. But until then, I've seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I'm not a big fan of that film. So I think that's why I'm not as excited. If that film didn't happen and end on the third one, I'll be so excited for this film. But I'm just taking a wait and see approach with this one.
Well, this is James Mangold directing.
I know who's directing it.
I think for this, because he's doing that Star Wars movie, Dawn of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie.
Was that the actual title? Or
I think I heard it. I don't know if it's official. Maybe a working title, but it's a great name though. I feel
it is.
This will either cement my excitement for that movie or give me a little bit of worry. Well, because he's done Logan, amazing, top 3, top 5 comic movie of all time.
Hasn't he done another Wolverine film?
Yeah, he did do the Wolverine.
Outlier, big outlier.
But his last 2 are Ford vs Ferrari and Logan. So
yeah,
he's tracking good, and we'll see what this one brings. I think it looks fantastic, but yeah, I'm with you in terms of my excitement. It's just not there for it. I think it really mainly stems from the fact that I'm not just a big indie guy,
Yeah.
But when I watch it, we'll see, because some of those movies they're really good, and especially from memory, I love them. But
yeah.
I think I've just fallen out of time with them.
I think I am looking forward to like a fun adventure film. Like I know we have them like Jumanji, the recent Jumanji.
Mm-hmm.
Those are so much fun.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so entertaining to watch. Jungle Cruise as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think we have had like I'm sure you know what I mean by this, but like a good adventure film.
Yeah. Yeah, just a good adventure, yeah.
And I'm hoping that's what we get from this.
We also got some stuff that's out of blockbusters and more into the comedy. We don't really get much comedy these days.
Yeah.
And it's a genre that I really do miss, especially R-rated, crude comedies.
I know why.
I love those. Just because they're endlessly rewatchable, and I just like laughing. So when I'm by myself and I just want to watch a movie, I love to put on something and just laugh and keep laughing at the jokes. But we got one coming out this summer, Strays. It was recently delayed due to the writer's strike, but it still fits in with the summer movie season. So where are you at with that movie?
To be honest, you've been saying Strays to me this whole, for the past few months, I feel.
Yeah.
And every time you say it, I just keep thinking of the video game
the
Strays.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big cat lover. So whenever you say Strays, I'm like, oh, fuck off these cats, man. But after you showed me the trailer for that, and I was like, holy fuck, this is like the film made for Nayan, like animals, R-rated, swearing, Nayan is a animal that is R-rated and swearing. So it's like the perfect Nayan movie. I am a bit gutted now that it has been delayed, but obviously justifiable reasons why it's been delayed.
Yeah.
But we're going to see it eventually, and looking forward to it when it comes out, because it's just going to be one of those dumb films that is just so much fun.
Yeah. No, I like those movies, especially in times when you have stacked movies like this. When you have stuff like Indiana Jones and then Mission Impossible a week later, and then Oppenheimer and then Barbie. They're all very serious films. But, something like Strays is a movie that, where you can kind of take a pause from those kind of movies.
It's like a palate cleanser.
Yeah. Yeah. Sit back, relax, and just really have a lot of fun with it. So, yeah. There's just a lot here, and they all offer kind of different things. Obviously, the best one will be Rise of the Beast.
You heard it here from James.
No,
Rise of the Beast is going to be better than Oppenheimer.
No, I'm joking. Please don't hold that against me. But I don't think Rise of the Beast will be that bad. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm sticking my guns for this one. If I can have faith in the 76ers, I can have faith in Rise of the Beast.
Do you have faith in the 76ers today?
No. And I won't have faith in Rise of the Beast on release day. But before then, I'll have some faith. I think it'll be a fun movie. We've heard good stuff about Little Mermaid. The reactions came out for that one. And me and you have talked about this movie in not in a good way. It has looked very bland, lifeless, dull, whatever adjective you want to use. It's just hasn't looked good. But then these reactions come out saying, oh no, it's great. What's the name? Halle Berry. Puts on an amazing performances. She's here. She's arrived. The songs are really good. What are your thoughts on that comparing to what we've seen, and with all the marketing and trailers, does your excitement build from these reactions?
No, it stays the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe Halle Berry is going to be knocked out of the park. I believe that the songs are fantastic, but I think the story's going to be shit, not shit, but it's going to be a letdown because they're adding an extra hour from the original.
Yeah.
And if you remember that when the live action Aladdin and Lion King came out, it was similar stuff. They were praising the voice actors and the actors and the songs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And those films were somewhat a letdown. I
Yeah.
mean, Aladdin was a lot better than the Lion King live action for sure. So that's why I'm like, I'm not getting fully on board with this. I'm not getting excited. I'm just going to stick with my guns and say it's not going to be that good. There's going to be elements of the film that's going to be good, 100%. There's going to be elements where it does the original movie fantastic. I think Halle Berry is going to knock it out of the park as Ariel, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the songs, I mean, it's a Disney film, like the songs are always fantastic.
Yeah.
For any of their movies. So I think those elements are going to be fine, but it's going to come down to the root of the story.
Yeah.
They're adding on an extra hour. What more can you add on? Yeah,
that'll be interesting how it can work. And especially these, you can never really trust reactions 100%. They sometimes miss their mark. But yeah, that's one. I'm interested in it now because of the reactions are saying it's really good. But yeah, I'm with you. It's just a movie that I just can't get excited for right now. But
find out next week.
Yeah, no, we see it next Tuesday, so that'll be interesting. But yeah, we'll move on now. We've covered the majority of the summer movie season. Big few months ahead of us. We're going to be covering everything here, predicting the box office for it, seeing where it's going to show up in the Oscars conversation, reviewing all of them. So yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll move on now to Poor Things. This is Yorgos Lanthimos. I believe I'm pronouncing that right.
No idea, mate.
I think I am. But he has directed The Lobster and The Favourite. These are very these are loved by cinephiles, these kind of movies. And so, we just got about a 30 to 40 second teaser for his upcoming film called Poor Things, featuring Emma Stone, and she was obviously in The Favourite. It's not much. It doesn't give us much. But what do you think of this first look at, an anticipated, independent film?
I haven't seen any of this director's work at all.
It's unfortunate. Go and do yourself a favor and watch both of those movies.
Yeah, I'll do that eventually. But from what I thought, I think this film looks very unique to what I usually watch. Like I'm actually looking forward to it. It's going to be palate cleanser to what I usually watch. The way visually, because that's all I can talk about right now. Is visually this film is definitely going to get like either a production or a costume design Oscar nomination. 100%. I mean, even the way the colors show throughout that 30-second teaser is going to be fantastic, and I can't wait for a full trailer to come out just to so we can see a bit more of what this director does throughout it. You mentioned to me before that The Favourite was nominated for around about 11 to 12 Oscars.
It was big as a big contender there.
Yeah. So if this film is anything like that film, then we could see this becoming like a big contender come Oscar season next year, and it will be a different conversation once you watch it.
Definitely.
But what about you? Yeah, I mean, you've seen The Favourite. You've seen a lot more than me. I feel that's from rambling right now. But what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm not the biggest fan of his work. He, what is he? Because he's done The Killing of a Sacred Deer, and I like that. I wasn't too big on The Favourite, even though it's his biggest hit. But yeah, he's definitely a director to take notice of. And from what you saw in that trailer, he has a very unique style there. Costume design, production design are very they're big elements, and he showcases them very interestingly on screen. This movie looks very different to what he's done before, and it looks far grander and much larger than what he's done. I don't know if the production has a much larger budget or anything like that, but this movie, I think if he gets that momentum from The Favourite and puts it into a movie like this, and he hasn't done a movie since, so that was 2018. I think this could be something that's actually kind of really special. And obviously the cast is really good. Mark Ruffalo, Willem Dafoe is amazing. Emma Stone's great. And Emma Stone's worked with him before. So I think, when you have a director like this and, a cast like this, it's a recipe for a good film. And I think we are going to get that. But it's only 30 to 40 seconds. We need to see a lot more and kind of see what the story is.
Yeah. It seems like a period piece.
A period piece, yeah. But it's just he has a really unique visual style where it's like makes it colorful and interesting. And I don't like period films that much. I just don't naturally, I guess vibe with them. So yeah. But anything Yorgos is doing, it's something that I definitely have interest in. And I think, once we come Oscar season, it might be something that's in that conversation. But I think we need to, just wait and see, and wait for the full trailer, get a better look at this movie. But yes, moving on. Fast X, Nayan's favorite movie of 2023 so far.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, really?
No. Actually.
No. Please no. Guardians?
Yeah.
John Wick?
I did forget about those films. Nothing was coming to my mind. So.
This man almost said that Fast X was his favorite movie so far.
But it was that cliffhanger and post-credit scene.
Well, that's all that matters in a movie.
It does to the general audience.
Okay, so Fast X, as Nayan briefly touched upon before, we did not go to the world premiere. The world premiere was in Rome. Vin Diesel obviously attended that one, and he unfortunately didn't want to come to New Zealand and support our premiere.
How dare he?
I know, the audacity to not support Jason Momoa. But yeah, anyway, he was in Rome, and a reporter there interviewed him, and he seemingly confirmed that Fast X is going to be a trilogy. So 2025, there's a Fast X Part 2. Apparently, there's going to be a Part 3 to this. I guess we have a little bit of advantage here because we've seen the first piece of the story, Fast X.
Yeah.
So we have a little bit more context here. What do you think of this news now that you've seen Fast X, the first one?
I think it's bullshitting.
Or like he's lying?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I don't think he confirmed that it is like a trilogy. I think he said something along the lines of he'd like to see it become a trilogy, or like dangling the carrot in front of the rabbit sort of things, But the way that Fast X ended, is a perfect introduction to the finale. I think I cannot see how they can do it. I mean, they can do it, but I just don't see how they can do it as well if it was a trilogy.
Yeah.
Because then it's just a cliffhanger ending, and then you get to part 2, and it's another cliffhanger ending, and then you get the trilogy, which wraps everything up.
Yeah.
At that point, you're literally milking it. And I think he's doing that to build up hype. I think the franchise ends at Fast 11, the core franchise. And all I can say is the ending, that mid-credit scene, stick around to watch that because that is good.
That's exciting.
That will get you hyped. Just those two things, it feels as if it's coming up to the finale, as in the next film is a finale. We're going to get, everyone back together to face Dante, Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
So I think it's just doing this for PR.
Yeah. No, completely agree with every single word that you said there. I don't really have much else to add, but you are completely right. If a movie ends on a cliffhanger, it's a bit hard to justify going to a third one. Just because you can't do 2 cliffhangers in a row, the audience will just be annoyed at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it doesn't feel like there's any room in the story to really grow to a third one. The only way that they do it is if it's just a standalone Fast 12 or whatever. But then you've kind of wasted your build up to the finale, which would be disappointing. It feels like Vin Diesel to do this for a PR stunt to convince a studio to do it. So I think it really is just going to be, a PR stunt just to get, maybe some traction on a third movie.
Yeah, I hope Universal sticks to their stance and says no to him.
Yeah, well, I think filming starts pretty soon for this one, but it's going to be It's going to be interesting because I want this, series to end. And if the setup or if the movie is, a little bit better than Fast X, the final movie, then, it's going to be a great ending, I think.
Yeah.
And this franchise does need to end. All franchises need to end. Just part 3 would not work. It would be a really disappointing direction for the franchise to go. But they've been in disappointing directions before. So anything could happen. You never know. Maybe it's not ending. Maybe it will just carry on to Fast 20.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Fast XX. Yeah. All right. Freaky Friday. That's an old school movie, eh? When's the last time you heard of that?
Big throwback. The only time I hear about Freaky Friday is when newer films,
do the same concept.
Like, Happy Death Day and stuff like that.
Happy Death Day, yeah.
It's either they reference Groundhog Day or Freaky Friday. There's the two films they reference.
Yeah, it's like they're repeating the same day. Yeah. Remember that Edge of Tomorrow one?
That was a fantastic film, though.
That was a good one, yeah. Groundhog Day is great, too. I don't know if Freaky Friday is good, but I know I enjoyed it. It was a good movie when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what it would be like when watching it now.
It'll probably be shit.
But I guess I have to watch it now because a sequel isn't in the works. And
story of Hollywood.
I wish I was surprised because the more bizarre part of this is it's not just Freaky Friday 2. It's the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan is coming out from the darkness to come star in this movie. What are your thoughts on the fact that they're doing a sequel to Freaky Friday and that it's got the same cast members?
I somewhat like it, because it's not like it's. I feel this is gonna be very Scream sort of like, like it was like a somewhat a forgotten franchise. It's not like a Moana
franchise. I thought
you
used Moana.
What Scream?
Oh no, Freaky Friday.
Yeah. Okay,
sorry,
I'm getting there. But it's not like it's not like something we've seen multiple times before just to be remade. Like Freaky Friday is its own thing. There's so much things you can do with that. So I think that part sort of excites me a little, and the fact that the original cast is coming back is pretty cool as well, because then they actually brought in something here, something similar to what Scream did from last year. Yeah, last year.
Yeah. Actually, no, sorry to interrupt there. We compared Freaky Friday to like Edge of Tomorrow and Groundhog Day. Those movies, they repeat the same day.
Yeah, well,
Freaky Fridays, they swap bodies.
We're thinking of like 17 again and like 13 going on to 30 or 30 going on to 13. That sort of stuff.
Okay, yeah. Because I was thinking, I was in the mindset of like, repeating the day.
No,
that kind of concept.
Body swap thing, like Freaky.
Yeah,
Freaky.
Yes, that's the movie I was trying to think of. Yeah, the Vince Vaughn one. Yeah,
body
sorry.
swaps.
Yeah, carry on. It's just a epiphany for me.
Yeah, so when I say excited, I'm like, oh my God, I cannot wait to see this. It's just like, this could be cool.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting because I think in the original film, Jamie Lee Curtis's character and Lindsay Lohan were mother and daughter.
Yes, yeah.
So I wonder if it will be like there'll be a grandparent sort of thing to this, like
Jumanji.
Yeah.
Like the sequel comes through and it's the grandparents this time.
Yeah, so like somehow like all three of them swap over into different bodies and whatnot.
Yeah.
That would be actually a good way to like bump it up from the usual like person to person switching over. It's like having three people go into different bodies.
Oh, so yeah, it's like more people different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo 1 did that for like a minute.
Because the souls go into like the different ones. Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, if they do that, like have like, the mother, daughter and granddaughter, grandson, whatever, I'm sure they'll stick with the daughter side of things, like all swap bodies.
Well, yeah, they're at the age now where they're a generation above.
Yeah.
So Lindsay Lohan's character would have a daughter by this point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a mature daughter, somewhat.
Yeah. The thing with me is, if they go along that route, the concept doesn't work as well. Because you have two characters that already know this. So it's not like part of the fun with these things is the characters like, oh, what's going on? What are we doing? And they freak out and they have to adjust to this like new body and their lifestyle and all this kind of stuff. And that's part of the fun with the concept. If they were to have two characters that have already been through this, and they kind of be like, "Oh, we've just swapped bodies. Stay calm. We'll figure it out." It wouldn't work as well. You know what I mean?
What if we have these three characters and one of them goes into an animal, like a cat or a dog, and then the dog goes into a human? Dumb idea, but hey.
I think you just explained the plot of Strays.
It's me going into a dog's body, eh?
Pretty much. The dog will be drunk by the end of the movie.
The dog will be drunk before the movie. Come on.
Sorry, I underestimated you. Freaky Friday, the sequel. Yeah, I think this is a movie that I will get excited for. On the basis is that I love these kind of I just love these concept movies where it's either repeating the same day or they're switching bodies. There's just something that's interesting to me about it. Obviously, these concepts, they can have dud movies where I don't like it, and this could be the case, but it's a concept that I'm very intrigued in, because when it's done right, and it's done really well. And I hope it keeps, and it's kind of what I said before, we don't have much comedies these days. If you can really lean into the comedic side of it, it can be a lot of fun. Jumanji is one and that's genuinely funny and it's entertaining. The Change Up, have you seen that one? The Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one is really funny. I think Freaky Friday was funny from what I can remember. So if it leans more into the comedy aspect, it can just be a good, fun movie that's a break away from these over serious universe building, your blockbusters that we continuously get. So
yeah,
it's one of those movies that might just cleanse my palate for movies and be a good time. Yeah. But won't cleanse my palate is the new Harry Potter series. That movie is going to destroy my palate. This we've already talked about it. This series is a horrible idea, and I get sad at night. Sometimes I can't sleep thinking about it.
And that's not a joke, guys.
Yeah, no, I'm scarred from it. But we decided to do fan casts, and we were theorizing these fan casts for some pretty major characters, and it was hard to do. In my mind, because the people that star in these roles in Harry Potter, they are so iconic in those roles where you kind of look at it and you're like, no one else can ever play this character. It wouldn't feel right.
Yeah.
But we actually did some fan casts, and there was some stuff where I looked at, no, this could work. There's obviously a few parameters to these fan casts. We obviously haven't done Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, Ron Weasley, because they got to start from 11 years old, and we don't know child actors well enough to really suggest six different child actors for 3 different roles.
Go to your local park and pick any, whatever is your fan cast for that. That's
an R-rated comedy joke right there, but we need more comedy, and Nan's providing it. That is a dark one. But yeah, no, we'll run you through some of the ones that we did. Now, obviously, the key one, Dumbledore, is a major role in this story, and will be throughout the majority of the series. So, our fan cast for this one, Jeffrey Rush, Bill Nighy, Michael Caine, Mark Rylance, Ian McKellen, and Anthony Hopkins. Now, I will add on, we didn't really consider British exclusive fan cast for this one because we don't really know the direction that the US one will go to. They might go to American actors or European actors, whatever they do. So we just thought who may be best for the role, not British only. Yeah. So what do you think about these fan casts? Do you have a top pick? Who could surprise?
I love all of these. Who I want to be, it would be Michael Caine. But I just feel he's too much on the old side, I don't know if he's going to make it to the 7th season. And I feel very bad for saying that, but fuck, it's true. Come on. Same with Ian McKellen. I can't remember if it's the other way around, but I think he was first approached to be Dumbledore or something. And
he's the equivalent of Gandalf. I mean, he is Gandalf, so.
Yeah, so I'm just going to
Same character.
But Dumbledore's a lot more positive.
No. He's better written.
Yeah. Gandalf is. Thank you. Yeah. Who I would like out of this list to portray him as like a wildcard would probably be Jeffrey Rush. He played Barbossa in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. And I think he'll just be he'll be a good fit as Albus Dumbledore, you know.
Yeah.
He has that experience within acting to, you know, elevate these younger actors and teach them the nitty-gritty side of acting and whatnot and mentor them. But then he's also a great actor in himself to actually portray this role of Dumbledore.
Yeah.
Yep. What about you?
This one's a tough one for me. I mean, I know these characters really well. Obviously, you know, Anthony Hopkins, he's one there, but he's in the 90s.
What I said for Michael Caine.
Yeah, the clock's ticking. And I don't like thinking about it in that way. That way is it's really sad because these are really good actors. So I don't like thinking about it that way. But you do have to kind of consider it because one season per book, and you know that's at least 6 years. So yeah, Bill Nighy, he could be one. He just got an Oscar nomination, so he would be good. He's obviously can act quite well. I would probably go for Mark Rylance.
The wild card.
The wild card. I would put my money there, and I'm not a big Mark Rylance fan, but I know he's one hell of an actor, and it would be a different version of Dumbledore where he's a little bit more. He could feel a little bit more empathetic and open and caring in a way that the movies didn't show enough. And I feel like he could really add a lot to that kind of element of Dumbledore. I don't know how it'd function in terms of, you know, I guess the badass version, lack of a better word there, version of him.
Yeah.
You know, where he gets to a massive, you know, wizard battle with Voldemort.
Because he always seems such an awkward, or the roles he portrays was always like that awkward sort of character. You know, we see him Ready Player One and Don't Look Up.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'd be a different direction, but it'd be one that would intrigue me, not one where I'd be like, "Oof, no, I don't like that." Yeah. But he can clearly act, so it would be a good pick on the acting side of things. Severus Snape. This one, I always see this one being talked around in terms of who could play this. So the ones we've listed here: Adam Driver, Keanu Reeves, Benedict Cumberbatch, Cillian Murphy, Charlie Cox, and Johnny Depp. Top pick for this. What could they bring to the table for the role?
I mean, like myself, I'm sure you've seen this. Like, if there were to be like a younger sort of Harry Potter spin-off based on like James and Lily Potter days at whatnot, the top fan cast for that would be Adam Driver. I'm not sure if you've seen those sort of things.
What, when the younger?
Yeah, so if there was a like piece of content just based on James and Lily and them throughout Hogwarts.
You want Adam Driver to be Severus Snape?
Yeah.
Adam Driver's like 30.
God, you skipped my point because I was asking you a question, but you clearly missed that.
Wait, yeah, sorry. Just repeat yourself.
So I said, I'm not sure if you've seen, but like in those fan casts where it was that sort of situation, that sort of film where it was based on James and Lily Potter, the top fan cast for that would have been Adam Driver. It's like a younger Snape. You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't seen that. I don't like that.
Oh, you don't like it? Okay. Well, anyway,
he doesn't look like a teenager to me. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm still sticking with Adam Driver because I think he has the look of a Snape. You know, you know, he's tall, he's lanky, he's got the dark black hair, he's got the face for it, and he's a fantastic actor that can. Oh, and the voice. He also has a fantastic voice to be like, you know, that sort of dark, sort of mysterious, sort of wizard. So I think Adam Driver would be a fantastic fit for Snape.
Yep.
I can't really see anyone else in that list being it. Maybe Benedict Cumberbatch or Cillian Murphy. Those would be the other two picks, but I'll probably want to see Adam Driver over anything else because I think he can just bring a fresh role, similar to what Alan Rickman did as his role, but somewhat different.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree with you on this one. Adam Driver, I feel like, is probably the best choice here. Further to what you said, you nailed everything. Adam Driver has that mood about him, or he can really play it well, where he's just moody and doesn't like human beings and just wants to be left alone, kind of thing.
Kylo Ren.
Huh? Yeah. Especially in those earlier Star Wars, like The Force Awakens and bit of The Last Jedi. Yeah, he does it really well. And that's a lot of what Snape is, especially on the early side of things. And Adam Driver he has the acting chops to really pull off the entire Severus Snape arc that he has, and you need someone talented to switch that kind of villainous portrayal to someone that's completely heroic. And I think Adam Driver would be the best one to play it. Obviously, Benedict Cumberbatch is a decorated actor as well. I think he could really bring something to a role that's very different to Alan Rickman. Adam Driver would be very similar. They just have this similar look and feel in the way they command the screen. Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch could do something different and has that kind of voice that feels kind of scary and deep. I don't know too much about the others. Johnny Depp would be a massive wild card.
Huge wild card.
Imagine if he got cast in this, because this would be huge. There's obviously been a lot about Johnny Depp. We're not going to go into that, but if he was to be cast in this role, how would you feel about that?
I would feel as if he's been done right. Like they dropped him from Grindelwald and they're giving him this to like be part of this franchise.
I completely forgot he was a fucking fantastic beast.
Like they've given him another chance to like be part of this franchise because the studio fucked up in that part. Again, as you said, different story for another day.
Yeah.
Or listen to our old podcast because we discuss it there.
Yeah.
But like, I think this will be a good role for him to come back into the mainstream media. Not that as if he does need to come back, but like it's a good franchise to just come back into.
Yeah. As in the role, could he do Snape well?
There's probably other Harry Potter characters. Don't ask me who because I can't think of on top of my head. I don't think Snape will be one of them.
Yeah.
I think the only reason why we included him on this list is because he's been part of the Tim Burton films, which is naturally dark. Edward Scissorhands, who he played in Dark Shadows, and whatnot.
Yeah,
I think he'll be better suited as like not a major character or major wizard professor, but someone a bit more smaller.
Yeah,
it's like a cameo. He doesn't give me Snape vibes at all.
Yeah. Interesting. Professor McGonagall. So for this one, we got Emma Thompson, Olivia Colman, Michelle Gomez, Jennifer Connelly, Judi Dench, and Melissa McBride. Anyone stand out here that top pick?
Probably first two. They said Emma Thompson and Olivia Colman.
Yeah.
If I had a pick, or probably Olivia Colman. She just has that sort of, that sort of motherly love that everyone can just love.
Yeah.
For her, and like she like looks after her students and whatnot, and then she also has like that sassiness at times. As well, but also being like very strict.
Yeah.
I think Olivia Colman will be able to fucking nail this role down to a T.
Yeah. I think with Olivia Colman, I would love to see her in two different roles besides this.
Yeah.
Dolores Umbridge, because one, she seems so lovely, but I would love to see her in that role. And she can act. She could do it. And it would just be like so different to what we've seen from her that I would be like, wow, like this would be insane. And then obviously Molly Weasley. Just put on a red wig and you're good to go. Like you said, motherly love. She nails it completely. My top pick though would be Emma Thompson.
Yeah.
Have you seen Nanny McPhee?
I can't remember. I don't know. I don't think so. Don't know.
No. I know I've seen the first one. They did the second one. But yeah, the first one, I've seen that a couple of times. And Nanny McPhee has like, a witch hat and like got magic powers. It's quite subtle, but Emma Thompson plays her and just kind of has that look and feel because in that movie, she has kind of the presence that McGonagall has in terms of like warm, gentle, kind, and genuinely cares for the kids and stuff like that. So I think she could easily slide into the role and be really good in it. Olivia Colman could be Lord Voldemort and should be great. Just one of those actresses, just great in everything.
Superman.
No, yeah, she would be great. But yes, no. So that would be my top pick. But yeah, I think the top two there were probably those ones. Hagrid. Now this one was tough for us to really.
It was very tough.
It was tough to round out the top 6, and I think with Hagrid you have to think outside the box because a lot of fan casting you consider the look as one of the biggest pieces to fan casting. Obviously, their acting ability is another one as well. With Hagrid, you can completely have someone that looks really scrawny, really small, and they can do the camera tricks, they can do the prosthetics, and they can really make it work. So that's just what you have to do. But we've come up with some here. Our top picks for this one: Nick Frost, Jack Black, John Goodman, Brendan Fraser, George Garcia, and Richard E. Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Top picks for this one, man.
Be the first three you said: Nick Frost, Jack Black, and John Goodman.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic actors. They've all, they all fit that physical side of things. They both are funny. Mm-hmm. They have the comedic side and to them. Mm-hmm. If I had a pick, it would have to be Jack Black. I think he looks like the perfect Hagrid. Oh, except for George Garcia, he actually looks like Hagrid. Yeah. He's the guy from Lost.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it'll be Jack Black if he can pull off a good British accent. Mm-hmm. If he can do that,
if it is British or not,
yeah. If it is British or not,
yeah.
I'm just going to say British because
if they're going to be British, I don't want American actors doing British accents. So different conversation for different day. Carry on. Sorry,
but yeah, if he can pull off that British accent, well, then my pick will be Jack Black. I mean, he has that look. He's got the comedic side of him. He also has that warmth towards the younger actors. He can develop them really well, similar to what he did in School of Rock. Mm-hmm. He could bring that somewhat to here, but have a lot more work to do with them over the course of 7 seasons.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, what about you?
Jack Black would be my worst pick on this.
Yeah,
I want him far away from this role. I'm not going to lie. Jack Black seems too much of a clown to play a serious role like this. I don't know how he would do in dramatic acting. I don't find Hagrid to be a comedic centric character to begin with. I think the character is funny in a situational kind of sense, not the comedic relief kind of guy. As for my top pick though, I would go Brendan Fraser.
Of course.
Brendan Fraser, he has a particular warmth about him. Or the Brendan Fraser now. As we've seen from The Whale, he just chemistry with child actors and stuff can work. He's obviously demonstrated it there. But yeah, I just think he has kind of the warmth and the kind of presence to hold what Hagrid is. This is one of the roles where I really struggled to see anyone else beside Robbie Coltrane. May he rest in peace.
Yeah,
it's just it's such an irreplaceable role.
Same as Snape,
Yeah. It's tragic passings as well, but yeah, it's just it was such a tough one to really do any of these guys, and I can't lock in anyone else to play him. Richard E. Grant was a really different choice, and it would be my wild card to play him. Obviously, doesn't have the physical look on a physique sense of things, but has the acting ability to pull off some of what Hagrid is. But when we do get the next Hagrid, I think we're going to see a very different version of him.
Yeah.
Sadly, because he's one of the great characters of the series. But yeah, interesting role, Lord Voldemort. This one always has a lot of people talking.
It does. Yeah.
So the ones we have here is Jamie Campbell Bower, Benedict Cumberbatch, Mark Strong, Charles Dance, Cillian Murphy, and Matt Smith. I think this one's a strong list of people here.
It is.
What's your top pick?
I really want to say Jamie Campbell Bower because he's already played a noseless villain as Vecna. But I think the age is on the wrong side of him. Like when you think of Voldemort, he's somewhat older. He's he's established. He's a well-known wizard.
Yeah,
but in the wrong sense.
Yeah.
So if we had a TV series based on Tom Riddle and is out to Lord Voldemort, boom, this guy's your man.
Absolutely.
Look no further than this man.
Yeah.
But I have to go with someone older, which is everyone else. I do want to see Matt Smith as a villainous character, but his role's reserved for Lucius Malfoy. So I think I have to go Benedict Cumberbatch, I think he has a voice, he has the acting experience, and I think he just has that emotion in the way he has scenes. Like if you've seen him in his mocap scenes when he played Smaug in the Hobbit series, he was doing mocap, but his heart was in that mocap, like he was giving it everything. And I think him as Voldemort, he would leave his heart on the table.
Yeah.
For this role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree pretty much with what you said, but I am going to say Jamie Campbell Bower. Prosthetics exist. I think if you make him bald and you do his face, I mean, Ralph Fiennes doesn't look much like Lord Voldemort, but all that stuff on his face, and it obviously looks like Lord Voldemort. So they could do a lot of prosthetic work to make him look the right age, but the way he played Vecna in the human form was amazing.
Yeah,
I remember seeing it. It was just an amazing portrayal. I remember watching that, and there's one scene where he looks away, and his whole facial structure is completely different. Once you find out he's a villain, he just looks completely different. His expressions are so deep, and he just has that kind of command and poise to really pull off such a powerful performance and portray such a massive character that has a lot to fulfill. So that would be my top pick. Obviously, the aging is something that I do think about because you think of Lord Voldemort, it seems like old as hell.
Yeah.
And then I think Benedict Cumberbatch would be my second pick. The voice is something that I would love to have in Voldemort. Ralph Fiennes obviously did an amazing job. I think Benedict Cumberbatch could do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But if Benedict Cumberbatch would be playing Lord Voldemort, I feel like it would just be the exact same. And I don't want it the exact same.
You want something different?
I don't want it to begin with.
Well, you don't have a fucking choice, all right, mate?
If I had to choose, I'd want something different.
Yeah.
Just because everyone's owned their role in Harry Potter in such a way that you can't replicate that. Like I said with the Hagrid thing before. Yeah. Sirius Black's another major. That's another major character for the Harry Potter franchise, and he will be a bigger character when it comes to doing in the series format
because they have at least 4 seasons to be developed properly.
Yeah. He'll appear in the fourth one.
Yeah.
He won't be in a fireplace, like they did. But yeah, no. So our top ones for Sirius Black are Ben Barnes, Henry Cavill, Michael Fassbender, Christian Bale, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Ewan McGregor. Top picks of that one.
Michael Fassbender for me, I reckon.
Really?
Yeah, he just... Oh, but then you got Ewan McGregor. Fuck. Oh, you got Ben Barnes. Looks-wise, it will be Ben Barnes. But I think I'm going to stick with Michael Fassbender. I think he'll be a great Sirius Black. I mean, it'll be something different to the roles that we've seen him portray before. He'll have a more prominent role rather than being, a supporting or
Next girl wins.
Sort of thing. And I think this sort of role would somewhat push him acting wise, having to interact with little kids and somewhat be like a mentor and an inspiration to them.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Michael Fassbender for me, and obviously his acting credibility is just fantastic enough. Like, I think he'll be able to nail this role.
Yeah.
Yeah, because with Ben Barnes, like the only thing I've seen him in is Prince Caspian, or is that how you say it?
Yes, yeah.
And haven't seen him in anything since.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. I'm going to go to where you were leaning before with Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I think of him as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, the mentor, the guide for that character. And he played it so well, and that didn't get its justice because of the way the prequels were and whatnot. And I really want to see more. And I think Ewan McGregor as Sirius Black, he can really, obviously doesn't suit the look, but obviously can, with all the, prosthetic work they can do and changing the hair color and whatnot. But, the way he could be a mentor to Harry and kind of being that father that he never had, it's really similar to what Obi-Wan and Anakin Skywalker represented. And Ewan McGregor's been there in that similar type of role, and he just naturally has a kind of a warmth to, how he is as an actor, and a lot of charisma and charm to really make it work. And I think he could do a good job and step into the shoes of what Gary Oldman did pretty easily.
Yeah,
and it might be one of the few roles where I feel like it's better. Yeah. But now we'll move on to Rumours Lupin.
Mm-hmm.
And this one shares some people that have been mentioned before. So we got for this one James McAvoy, Colin Firth, Paul Bettany, Andrew Garfield, Ewan McGregor, and Sean Bean.
Has to be Sean Bean because he dies in every single role, right?
Lupin doesn't die till the end, though.
Yeah, still dies.
At the end. Not in the first season. Who's your top pick for this one?
This one, I'm going with your Sirius Black one.
Oh, interesting.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I think he will be a much better Professor Lupin. Like, Sirius Black is like that second father to Harry.
Yeah.
But I think Lupin was somewhat that first sort of, that, I don't know how to put it into words, but that first sort of fatherly figure to him.
Yeah.
But not as much on an emotional level, but he like still guided Harry and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what Ewan McGregor will be able to do very well in this, is like still guide Harry to his end goal.
Yeah.
And not be so much as a father figure. Like, he can still say stuff to Harry and Harry just disagrees with him and be like, no.
Yeah.
But with like Sirius Black, like Harry has a relationship where he understands what Sirius is saying. And I think pretty much every point that you said about Ewan McGregor, Sirius Black, can be easily applied to Remus Lupin, like the whole, he can be a father figure, like I said before, and can teach Harry and whatnot.
Yeah.
I think just Ewan McGregor's, I think he's more better fit as a Remus than a Sirius.
Yeah. Interesting. I do agree with that, and I was gonna say that Ewan McGregor could fit both roles and do justice to both.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say Ewan McGregor here as well, but I'll go with someone different. I'm gonna go with Paul Bettany here. I feel like that could work. Obviously, you got the British element to it, but Paul Bettany, the difference between Sirius Black and Lupin here is one is more. They're both mentors, but one's more done in the teacher, professor kind of way, and then the other one's done in a more fatherly kind of way.
Yeah.
Paul Bettany has the kind of I don't know the word for it, but the kind of presence that reminds me of a professor, someone who's knowledgeable and academic, yeah. And I feel like he could really hold that kind of stance on screen and put it forward through Lupin, and obviously project that onto Harry. And we've seen him in terms of like sensitive kind of roles, and I think he would just do it some good justice. I think a lot of these ones are really good picks. Colin Firth, maybe a bit on the old side, but would really do well. I mean, we've seen Kingsman with what he can do with that and guiding Taron Egerton's character. Andrew Garfield could be a really interesting dark horse. We haven't really seen him on the old side, the mentorship kind of role, and it could be a good starting point.
Definitely push his acting abilities.
Yeah, because by the time this releases, he'd be in 40s, so it would be a really interesting direction to go, and it's not one that I would object to either. But Paul Bettany, Ewan McGregor would probably be my top picks for this one.
Yeah.
The last one we're going to cover is Lucius Malfoy. He's not a big not a big character in this the film series. He's in like a good 4 of the movies at least. But big enough in the books that he can play a serious role in the entire series. So the ones we got for this one is Tom Hiddleston, Matt Smith, Dan Stevens, Michael Fassbender, Paul Bettany, Nicholas Hoult. A lot in there that we've already heard of today, including Nicholas Hoult. What are your top picks for this one?
Matt Smith, easily. He has that. Anyone that's watched House of Dragon just knows exactly what I'm saying. But he has that arrogant, cunty sort of look to him. That persona, that would fit Lucius Malfoy. Like chuck him a blonde wig. He's already done that before in House of Dragon. He looks apart.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic actor. He'll be able to do. I don't know who the actual original actor was. His name has passed my head. I can't remember, but I think this is a role or one of those rare roles in Harry Potter where someone that can be recasted can surpass the original actor. And I feel Matt Smith is that person. I think he's just the right fit for it. If watch House of Dragon, that's enough. That's enough evidence.
Interesting. I haven't seen enough of House of Dragon to really comment on that. But I'll go back to your point about him being but replaceable. I would argue against that. He feels just so ingrained in that role. When you think of Lucius Malfoy, at least in my mind, I see that. Yeah. It's just that actor. And that can go for all of these roles that we're saying here. Like, there's just something about this franchise where none of them can be replaced.
Yeah,
it has to go in a different direction. As for my top pick, Matt Smith, I don't like it, I don't like it. He doesn't look enough like the role. Like, you can put a blonde wig on anybody. Tom Hiddleston looks the role. He's played a villainous role. He's played a villainous role where they turn good. And he's worn a wig before. So, just not a blonde one. I think Tom Hiddleston, and he's British. I think Tom Hiddleston just has the perfect kind of it had extra points, mate. You got to give me that.
Matt Smith is British.
Yeah, but not British enough. Well,
carry on.
Yeah, I just think Tom Hiddleston, he looks the part, and just we've seen him as Loki be a very commanding presence on the screen, and Lucius moments, he has those moments in the series, and I just believe that he could do it. He's the right age for it now, and it would just be a really great fit. One where it could get close to the heights of what the previous actor did in the role. But I still can't see anyone surpassing anybody. But that's the sad reality. As for everyone else here, Nicholas Hoult, perhaps. Michael Fassbender, we've seen him with blonde hair in The Next Girl Wins, so he grows out that hair a little bit longer and he could be good for the role. But yeah, obviously, there's a lot here that could probably play it well. After all, I did say, it is quite a small role in the film series, but in the TV series, it's a bit more extensive. So you can actually have a character or like an actor come in and really dominate and own that role a little bit more than the other ones that were suggested here today. Yeah. But I mean, okay. So just one thing before we, move on from this topic. Say your top picks for this. They all get casted.
Mm-hmm.
Are you excited for the series?
No.
No.
Because it shouldn't happen.
Okay. All right. We're on the same page. But yeah, no. So
But
even
secretly, guys, I am.
no, don't wind me up, man. Come on, don't do that. I agree, man. It's just even with my dream picks here, it still just doesn't feel right.
This is something that just shouldn't be like spin it off.
Mm.
So like the magic world is like the world's your oyster, but you just want to stick to this 7-book series. Like explore Lord Voldemort, explore Dumbledore's early beginnings.
Yeah.
That's not Fantastic Beasts, you know.
That's not
there's so much stuff. There's even like stuff outside of Hogwarts that you could explore. All those other schools.
Yeah, I think a lot of thing about the Harry Potter thing is the growing up with the characters as they start from year 1 and they go to year 7. I think that's a big component of why people love it. At least for me, that's what I like about it. You grow with the characters and you see their journey. So I would love to see like Tom Riddle year 1, 2, year 3, even Dumbledore. That would be very interesting.
Even the first wizard. I mean, we're going to get that with the first Jedi with James Mangold.
Dawn of the Wizard.
Yeah, but like, could you imagine like just seeing this wizard like have different abilities to like the regular human and him interacting with that? Like, that's it. I reckon it's a movie rather than a TV series. But
yeah, no, that there would be but what we're saying here, like we're just spinning off ideas, and already it sounds more interesting than what we're going to get. Yeah. But enough talking about the Harry Potter remake because that depresses me enough, and I've seen the Sixers lose today, so we'll stop it there. That is going to do it from us, guys. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow us on whatever platform you're listening from, and turn on those notifications to never miss another one. Chuck us a follow on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube to support us and the show. Before we sign off, though, we just want to hear your thoughts on everything. Did you agree with all the things that we said today? We'd love to hear what you think. Flick us a message on Twitter @MovieGains. Head over to our website, moviegains.com, for 4K movie reviews, box office analysis, and coverage of award season. Also, we do a weekly email newsletter, so if you want, subscribe to that. Never miss a beat of what we do. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you again next time. Keep bringing the hype. Peace.
See ya.